What's going on? Who are those attackers?
Hi, I'm Tummy Gummy. You watch these exciting scenes from today's show while I go get a snack.
Have you ever felt like this? How strange things happen. Are you going round a twist? If all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put me back together again, I'd say, rain, rain, go away, come again.
Welcome to Pete and Fran Review the 90s.
Yes.
Here we are, and we're going to be talking about some wonderful things that we've seen today. That would include, well, we both wanted to have things from our own countries. So, see, you're from South Africa, I'm from the wonderful United Kingdom, and you didn't come here until
2001.
So we thought we'd both educate each other on what we used to watch as younger people.
Yeah.
And so I thought of a good format. I thought our format would be that we'd have one thing from our own country each, and then things that might have been imported from abroad that we both enjoyed as youngsters.
Okay.
And then we would watch the best film of that year, in my opinion.
Best film?
Which, or at least the most interesting film.
It was very interesting.
Which I think we watched.
It was no Dirty Dancing.
We watched, firstly we watched an episode of Disney's Gummi Bears.
Wow! Which was my childhood favourite.
One of your childhood favourites. Then we watched one of mine, which was an episode of Round a Twist.
Yes.
And an Australian import about lighthouse keepers, which I always liked very much, and I had magical adventures.
Yes.
Then we watched a South African sitcom
Called Orkney Snork Nie.
Orkney Snork Nie.
Yes.
And what does that translate as?
You tell me.
It's because I looked it up. It stands for Orkney doesn't snore, which one would think to mean, it's just because it's about a married couple and their family.
Yeah.
It would be like about the dad, he's not snoring.
No.
But really, it's about how the town has actually got a lot going on.
Yes.
And from the show that we watched, that isn't really conveyed. But we'll get to that.
But you can't just base it on one episode.
Exactly. Well, speaking of judging sitcoms on one episode where very much doesn't happen, we also watched an episode of Waiting for God.
Yes.
Which was first broadcast in 1990, a sitcom about people living in an old people's home.
Which was very interesting.
Which
I liked it.
It was a novel concept of an idea, but I think we both got a little bored watching these things. I think that's fair to say.
I don't know, I like Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears was the most entertaining of the four.
Yes.
But then the day was saved by watching Lambada.
Oh God.
Which was a truly fantastic film. And
I don't know. It's no Dirty Dancing for me.
Well, I think you're setting the bar too high. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and we will get into a deep dive into Lambada.
Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the Gummy Bears.
The first thing we saw then was Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears?
Which was first broadcast in 1985, but ran until 1992.
Yes.
It was apparently the brainchild of Disney CEO Michael Eisner, who wanted a show about these gummy bears because his son loved gummy bears.
What, as in the sweet?
As in the sweet.
Oh, I like gummy bears.
Well, yeah, who doesn't? Like, I've never picked up a Haribo and gone, I need to know the history behind this sweet. No one's ever eaten a fried egg. I need to know where this fried egg...
Yeah, but it's a nice concept. All these gummy bears jumping around.
It is, yeah. So...
looking after the world.
We saw the very first episode even though that wasn't broadcast in 1990, but I felt like I needed to begin at the beginning with Gummy Bears.
Yes.
And I think you agreed with me.
Yes.
So it began with a knight with a moustache practicing using a catapult to destroy a castle.
Yes.
And
The
that was
King's Castle.
The
it
King's
was gonna
Castle.
be
That was
eventually.
his overall plan, was to destroy the King's Castle.
Yeah.
And he clearly knew what he was doing
He
in
did.
that arena. So he then had his army of ogres build him a giant catapult.
Yes.
He would then use in real life. So he'd done a practice run with models, very efficient.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'd do if it was me.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we see Unwin and Kevin, two young pages to a knight,
yeah.
and they're riding into the woods.
And he smacks the young page's horse with
He
a...
does. Unwin is very mean
Chicken-
to Kevin. He
chicken
says
leg?
like, yeah, he kind of just does something to Kevin's horse, so Kevin has to walk, and Unwin just lays there all lazy. And they find a lazy knight, and then some ogres come.
Well, no, because they
They're
make it...
they're
getting
Yeah,
firewood.
they're getting firewood. Yeah.
Yeah.
So ogres come and disrupt the woodcutter's work, and they're trying to clear a path for the giant catapult to take out the King's Castle. And they are successful in that.
They are.
Apart from Unwin, who is nearly captured by the ogres, but is rescued
By
the gummy bears, and he's always believed in gummy bears as well, which is very convenient.
And they give him some gummy bear juice.
They give him gumberry juice.
Gumberry juice.
Gumberry juice,
Not
not gummy
gummy
bear
bear
juice,
juice.
which is what we both thought it was. But it's actually gumberry juice. And this gives Kevin...
Superpowers.
Yeah, it makes him
Strong.
super strong.
Yeah.
Whereas it doesn't do that really for the gummy bears, but it makes them bounce. And that is very important to a gummy bear. They need to be able to bounce. That's their power, because it helps them escape ogres and things like that.
Yes.
So, yeah, Kevin is given superpowers.
He is.
And that enables him to initially stand up to the evil knight. But then his gummy bear juice, his gumberry juice, see, it's easily done.
Yeah.
It wears off and he's captured. And the gummies have to come and save him, which they do. And they give him some
Berry juice.
Gumberry juice.
And then he saves the day.
Well, but then again it wears off too quickly. And the evil knight gets hold of his gumberry juice.
Yes, when they're trying to give him some more.
Yeah, and he then... The knight drinks the gumberry juice and becomes super strong. And he's about to throw
the
a
rock
rock
at
instead
the
of using his
castle.
catapult at the King's Castle.
And then he loses it
And
and
he's-
he gets squished.
The effects are very
Not
short.
to spoil it, but he does come back.
Oh, I thought there'd be a new villain each week.
No.
Oh, well, this show's rubbish then.
Yeah.
So,
I think he does come back.
does he come back every week? And is there some sort of...
No, it's a bit different.
Yeah? Is there not some sort of gumberry juice based? Because... And there's a gummy bear in the tree and he's like, you promised not to say. So he doesn't. He's like, oh, I don't really have anything to do with it. Which is true, really, because he didn't have a huge amount
Just
to
got a
do.
free ride down to the castle.
The gummy bears did everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He was right to say, though, he was going to say the gummy bears did it. But then he had to be quiet. Because he was honest enough to admit the gummy bears had done everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that was gummy bears.
All in all, I love gummy bears.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how did you feel about the episode?
I loved it.
I loved it too.
It's
I thought
very nice.
of the two, well, we'll talk about Round the Twist, and then I think we'll compare the two.
Okay.
I think we'll probably disagree on which one is better.
Mine's better.
Yeah.
Right, what's next then?
So the next thing we watched was Round the Twist, the very first episode of Round
That's
the
the
Twist.
Australian family, isn't
The
it?
Australian family who moved to a lighthouse.
Yes.
And they have magical adventures.
Well, this one wasn't so magical. They just found a ghost and an old picture.
Well, if you found a ghost, you'd think that was a pretty magical adventure.
And then he flew up into the heavens.
Spoilers. Why did that happen, though?
Because he'd stolen the painting from his sister.
See, you're jumping ahead. So, we first joined the family.
In the car.
And they're singing a song. And
Which one are they singing again?
I'm going to say it's...
You know you twist so fine, twist so fine. You wanna twist a little closer now, twist a little closer. Let me know that you're mine, know that you're mine.
What song they were singing now?
Anyway, by the by.
I've just got spinning around in my head.
Yeah.
It's not that
It's
one.
the kind of thing Kylie Minogue would have been in if she'd been a little bit younger.
It's definitely not
She'd
that.
already been in Neighbours at this point.
Yeah, no.
She was a
I can't
pop
remember
star.
what it was now.
But yeah, it wasn't spinning around.
No.
So, a lot of toilet humour, we must say. A lot of the humour is based around poo and pooing and sewage. So, they begin as they mean to go on because the little boy needs to have a shit. And
Poo.
A poo. He's done a very smelly fart in the car. So and the dad's like, I'm not stopping now for you to poo. You can use the dunny when you get to the lighthouse.
Yeah.
So they get to the lighthouse and the kid runs off for a poop. And
Yes.
it seems occupied, but it's not.
It's not.
It's
But
not.
it lets him in.
He lets him in, he has his poo.
He sits down with a magazine, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he's there for ages.
He
You
is.
should just have a poo and get out.
Everyone likes to read while they poo.
And then,
Then
the ghost comes along, doesn't it?
Well, eventually. But first,
Yeah.
the family move into the lighthouse
It's a runaway cigarette.
and they are joined by what appears to be a local gang. One of whom is the estate agent.
Yeah.
Who at one point
With
appears,
all his children.
Yeah, with his annoying children who are really
Yeah.
rude to everyone. But then that does spawn some great banter. One of them says to one of the other children, "Where did you get your clothes? The Undertaker?" And the girl says,
Where'd you
"Where'd
get
you
your
get your face? A panel beater." Excellent bants.
Yes.
And yeah,
Where'd you get the clothes? The Undertaker?
Where'd you get your face? Panel beater?
Oh.
I think she likes your grits.
bants.
Yes.
And
For
yeah,
a young...
for a young girl, that was a good,
Yeah.
quick comeback. It shows confidence.
Yeah.
And that is a good thing in a young lady.
She's obviously reading around. As in reading around in papers, you know, getting her knowledge.
Yeah,
And
definitely learning from books. As all women should. Yeah, and it does look a bit like the estate agent man and his children are a little bit into the dad, perhaps.
Wit. No.
At one point, it looks like the estate agent's going to try
Well,
and
they
kiss
just all
him.
let themselves in.
They do. They're very rude.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah,
told them to...
the mum keeps
off.
saying that the lighthouse smells.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she keeps claiming it's damp, but it's a fucking lighthouse.
It's
So-
by the sea.
yeah, shit gets damp by the sea.
But it's quite a nice place. I
It's-
wouldn't mind living in a lighthouse.
They've got a very spacious living area,
Yeah.
so I would live in that lighthouse. Yeah.
You'd have to have everything round, though.
Yeah.
It would cost a lot of money to have...
Yeah, but you get paid for like running the lighthouse.
I do.
Well, I hope so.
I don't know.
Shouldn't be like a volunteer thing.
But they bought it. It doesn't work anymore, does it?
Oh, but the lady when they move in, she said she was the last lighthouse keeper. Oh, so maybe yeah, it's deactivated. Because when they move into town, someone scrawled on the sign, "Sold to city slickers," so they're not welcome.
But they are welcome. She
Well,
seemed
yeah,
to like them.
she doesn't. They don't meet it because it's a children's show. The budget isn't massive.
I can't get over the angels.
Don't worry about the angels.
I'll
I'm
fix
getting
it in a
distracted.
minute. I'll fix it.
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
the boy goes out at night for a poo.
Yes, because he needs to after dinner.
Yeah,
After they have
for
their
some
dad's
they
chow
have
mein.
chow mein, and the kid needs to shit almost immediately afterwards. So it says a lot about dad's.
He goes out there with his flashlight,
Goes out
his
there with
magazine.
a flashlight and a magazine. Everyone in Australia reads on the toilet, which I'm on board with that. I could get on
Okay.
board with that. And then a ghost. Yes. Yeah, and again, backtracking a little, there's a missing painting, and
Yes.
the old lady that runs the lighthouse really wants to get it
really
back.
wants it, and apparently
Yeah.
it's worth a lot of money.
Yeah. So, yeah, boy's out there, ghost appears. He says, well, the ghost doesn't say anything. He makes
No.
a gesture, and the little boy runs away
Runs away.
and wakes his sister
Sister
up,
up.
who for some reason is asleep in a karate uniform.
No, she was doing karate.
Oh, she was asleep.
No, she was doing karate. The brother was asleep.
Oh, right. So he comes to get his sister who's doing karate. So
Yes.
she goes out in a karate suit.
Also needing a poo.
So yeah, it's not just, she's like, there's no ghost, I'm going to go out and poo in there and prove it to you. So she goes out to have a poo with her magazine. And the ghost reappears, and he's pointing at something, and she runs off, and then they wake up, the brother, who then goes out there and removes a false tooth that he's wearing.
Well, it's like a...
Oh no, he has a shit. Then he takes out his false tooth and starts licking it. Then the ghost appears, frightens him, and his tooth falls in the dunny and disappears.
And down the flushing dunny toilet.
There's a flushing outhouse toilet, which
Yeah.
if you've got a flushing toilet, just bolt one to the house.
Yeah.
But anyway, that wouldn't have made for such an exciting episode of Round the Twist.
Yes.
So they then go to the sewage works.
Yes, where he
Where,
collects.
well,
He's...
where there is a sewage worker eating peanut butter toast, and you see him spreading it very thickly on a piece of bread.
Yeah.
And it is quite
Put me off
revolting.
peanut butter for a
Yeah.
bit, I think.
And then he then goes and gets his shit-covered tooth back from the sewage
And
works
then
man.
he boils it in a
Boils
pan
it
of hot
in a
water,
pan of hot
which is
water.
very good, actually.
Well, at least he boils it. I'll just run it under the tap.
Oh.
And then he puts it back in his mouth.
Well, he doesn't want to, does he?
Well, no. Why would you? He's like, I can't do it. But then Dad
Yeah.
comes in and he does it anyway. And that's that little subplot over with. And the three of them go out together.
To the toilet,
To the
not to
dunny.
all have a poo, just to
No,
sit
they're
on
just
the
waiting
loo.
for the ghosts.
Yeah.
And they want to see what the ghost wants. The ghost comes and they basically play charades with the ghost. And all the walls of the dunny fall over.
off.
And the painting is there. And they're like, oh,
It's there!
then we found the painting. And then the
Then
ghost
he waves at him, doesn't he?
is happy that the painting's been found and he disappears. Because that
Yes.
was his purpose of being a ghost, was to get the painting back
He
to
was
the old
waiting
lady.
around to show him the painting.
Yeah. But then at the end, he's trapped in the painting.
Yes.
So he was a stupid ghost.
Well, everyone's looking at the painting.
Mm.
And then he winks at him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
So really, he should have stayed where he was. And then he wouldn't have been trapped in the painting.
oh, I think it was just a funny bit.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the end of Round the Twist.
Yes.
It was a very fun episode. What did you prefer out of Gummy Bears and Round the
Gummy
Twist?
bears.
I think I was expecting that answer. I would have to say Gummy Bears as well.
Yeah.
Which I did
It's
not
more
expect.
fun. Gummy bears is more fun.
It was more fun.
Everyone likes a cartoon.
Yeah, although I loved Round the Twist when I was a young lad.
Yeah, but it's
I think it's one of those things you got to watch a few episodes of, but like
okay.
a bit like The Wire. We'll get into it. After 4 episodes, you're hooked. Whereas I think I'd get bored of Gummy Bears,
No.
especially as you told me the night just comes back every week
Well, I can't remember exactly.
with a new dastardly plot to blow up a castle.
Yeah, he wants to be king, doesn't he?
Mm.
It's like Sir Lancelot.
Yeah, I think that's limiting. You see, Round the Twist had multiple arcs.
No, they always have to sort something out, the gummy bears. So, like, sometimes they help people, or they, sort someone trying to break down a castle.
Why don't they make more gumberry juice?
They do!
Like all the time. Why not have like a constant irrigation system of gumberry juice?
Because they would not need it all the time.
They do, because it runs out so quickly.
Yeah, but not for them.
Why don't they just put it on a drip into Kevin, and Kevin would be like a superhero, and he could solve all
But he
their
doesn't
problems.
need it all the time.
I think there's some plot holes.
Don't slate my gummy bears.
I think that Round the Twist has
If you have children,
a superior
please
character
let
and
them watch
storyline.
Gummy Bears.
It's a strong recommend for both, although I don't think you're that sold on Round the Twist.
I
I
need
think
to watch another episode.
we need to watch more Round the Twist.
Yes.
It was still running in 1991, so I might watch. We might watch another episode of Round the Twist in the next episode of this podcast. So moving swiftly on.
Oh, this is the one about the old people now.
No, we're not there yet.
Oh.
The next one we watched is Orkney Snork
Oh,
Nie.
yeah.
So why don't you, as a South African lady,
Oh, God.
tell us about this wonderful South African sitcom?
So, it's about a family, a mum and dad, a brother who wears very short shorts,
We'll get to the short shorts, yes.
and a sister. And then the older brother is married to another lady.
To a pregnant lady.
And their granddad, or Opa, lives with them.
Mm-hmm.
Who has very large eyebrows.
He has very large eyebrows. What was the cut and thrust of the episode?
The cut and thrust of this episode was to give up smoking.
It was.
It's bad
It's a
for
strong
you.
social message, which I could get on board with.
Yes.
Even though borderline, smoking is cool,
It's not cool.
but not in South Africa. That was
Horrible. Why would you
Yeah.
want to smell like an ashtray?
no, it's true. But
I've never smoked, so I don't know what the appeal is, but...
super awesome. No, smoking is bad.
Very bad.
Listen to the nice lady
You
children.
don't want to end up with emphysema when you're older.
No, smoking is bad. So, yeah, he comes in, dad, and Opa, grandpa, is breaking his TV.
The remote.
I remember it was all in Afrikaans, which is a language I don't fully understand. I was
translating, but sometimes I forget what the words are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not a language you fully speak yourself.
And they're very quick.
It was quite fast spoken. Although there was some controversy about Orkney Snork back in the day, wasn't there? Because the people in South Africa, the Afrikaans speakers, said there was too much English slang in it, and that they still...
Yeah, but that's just the way.
There's like 4 words of English in it.
Yeah, some episodes there's a bit more. But...
Yeah, like every now and then one of them would say like, shut up, or something like that.
Sometimes there's no better way to say something than in English.
Well, I would say the best way to say anything is English. Yeah, and also it courted controversy because they had, in later series, an adopted black daughter. Which was, it was still under apartheid at the time, so it was a big deal. And
I used to like watching it. My mum loves it.
I'd take my hat off to Orkney Snork.
Yes.
For challenging some of the big problems in South Africa at the time.
Yeah.
Some could say that they did more than Nelson Mandela. We'll do that. It's
a good show.
It was a good show. I enjoyed immensely the porn set that it seemed to have been shot on.
Yeah, what was going on that carpet? Maybe that was in the 1980s.
I think it began in 1989.
Oh.
Yeah. But then I'm just going to go out and say something a bit controversial. South Africa's a little bit behind the Western world, maybe.
So really, it's the 1960s.
In terms of fashion and trends.
Yeah.
That's something you'd agree with?
A little bit.
Yeah.
We're not bothered about what we look like.
I think you are. It's just that, maybe you're not quite catching up with Vogue and things like that.
Yeah, because some people live in the middle of nowhere. They don't have access to
But they lived in Orkney, which is a town that clearly had a lot going on, because the title says that it did.
Yeah, but maybe that was fashionable in that time, to have a shag pile carpet.
It probably was.
Like
1990, remember, this is coming just off the 80s, which is like the land that, the decade style forgot. Yeah. So
I think they do change the appearance of the house as it goes on.
Yeah, and I can't say much. Like, you watch Hang Time or Saved by the Bell, and there's some fashion disasters going on in there, and that's the same sort of time.
On top of the pops.
Yeah, come on, Duran Duran and Spandau Ballet were sort of just reaching their peak about this point, and they had some pretty shocking fashion.
They did.
Disasters going on at this point. Even E17, who came a bit later, they wore some pretty natty outfits. Yeah. So it's wrong to insult the people of Orkney Snork for their style choices. But we've got to talk about the boys' shorts.
So the young lad walks in from school, and his shorts are very, very short.
They're under his top.
They're like 90s.
He may as well have had no shorts on.
Yeah, they were too short. Too short.
I thought that was a South African fashion thing. Maybe. Because didn't Boers wear their shorts like halfway up their ass?
No, my dad's shorts were like normal length, like here.
I thought it was like Boer fashion though.
No.
No?
I don't know.
I swear I've
never seen people... they always wear khaki shorts.
Yeah. But like... hitched
never
up.
like...
Nice shorts. Why'd you wear her up to your tits?
No, not like... They don't wear them up here. I don't know. Some people do.
Because the hot daughter, she was dressed quite...
Very nice.
For the time, very stylishly.
Very stylish.
Mum was very mum.
Mum, yes. Dad was very dad.
Dad was very dad. He was basically just in his work uniform consistently talking about musk sweets. What are musk sweets?
They're just sweets.
Jou service grinder of sweets. Hoe kan jy pa musk om sy sigarette na zolle te laat smaak?
Breath mints.
Yeah.
Musk. Oh, he says something. Breath deodorant.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That was mainly what the episode was about. He was teaching his children not to smoke.
Yes.
And he was giving up smoking himself.
Yeah.
And he was teaching Grandad not to smoke as well. Mm-hmm. He forces the child to smoke a cigarette.
When he catches him
Well,
smoking.
yeah, he'd already started smoking it. He wasn't like a mean dad. He was being a good dad. And that was nice. Yeah. And then at the end of the episode, he's about to show him a diseased lung. But the stupid son, who seemed a little shifty, seemed like he was up to something.
No, he's not up to anything. He's just like...
He just looked shifty. He looked like he was fondling
We
his...
need to watch another episode,
Right.
which is one of my ones I remember from when I was growing up, is where they have a car. Their mum and dad go away for the weekend, so they use the car to go round town and stuff.
Right.
So that the dad won't know that they've been using the car. They rewind the...
So it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah, but they
Right.
rewind it too far. So it
Ferris
says it's
Bueller's
done
Day Off.
10 miles or something.
Yeah.
So the dad catches him out. But that's one of my favourite episodes that I remember.
The shifty-looking son looked like he was fondling his balls through his
No!
jumpsuit that he wore as a
Family
mechanic.
programme.
It looked like he was doing it
No.
anyway.
He maybe had an itch.
On his balls. So then, yeah, he pours this deceased lung into the car thinking it's brake fluid.
But it was brake fluid.
Oh, he was just pretending.
Yeah.
Well, as I say, I missed that because I don't speak Afrikaans.
The dad was pretending.
What I did notice is that like they're all laughing in the audience at the start, but like it seems to run out of steam the episode, and by the end, it ends and you don't realise it's ending because no one's laughed in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but that's just the way it is sometimes. Can't make everyone laugh all the time.
No, true.
No.
So we know.
Nou nog as ek dink hoe lank hy so op die plekkerus geloop het.
Can't make everyone laugh all the time.
No, true.
No.
So we then after that we watched one of Britain's greatest offerings from 1990. I'm just gonna get there. Waiting for God, which
I really liked it.
Waiting for God was it was released. It began in 1990. It ran
Yeah.
for 3 series, which isn't bad for
That's
a British
not bad.
sitcom at all.
40 Towers ran for...
2. Only had 2
Exactly.
seasons. Yeah. And it's still repeated all the time, which is why I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I'd seen it before it was
I liked
released.
it.
It was good. Yeah. Yeah, it was very strange and quite dark for a sitcom.
No, they're all about to die because they're all old.
But like,
But they're just enjoying themselves.
the characters consisted of this Stephanie Cole's character, who was an old lady living in a home with her friend, another old man.
She really looks like the lady from...
She looks like either Penelope Keith or Felicity Kendall.
Yeah.
That's probably who they first wanted to play the role.
Oh.
They were probably not available.
But she was in something else, this lady, wasn't
Yeah,
she?
Stephanie Cole's been in a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, what a sight. Mutton dressed as lizard.
That was good. He's like
What was his
a
name again?
bombastic actor kind of
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
He was good.
He was good. And the two supporting, like his son keeps coming with his wife, who's clearly like having some sort of mental breakdown.
Shagging everyone.
Yeah, but like
Cheating on him.
that's the kind of she's clearly not right in the head.
She's not happy because she's married to him.
Yeah, but she's like mentally off. Like she doesn't talk. She just has sex with men.
It's because she's so bored.
Yeah, but really she needs putting away. Really,
Well, no, she
sectioning.
needs help, but then they decide to help her, but then they send the priest who ends up going off with
Well,
her.
a vicar, is struggling as well with mental health
Yeah.
issues. He's imprisoned in the old people's home, and they try
No,
to.
he's not imprisoned.
He seems
just
like
gets
he's being
put there
imprisoned
for a time being while he...
against his will. Yeah. So then he ends up running off with the young man's wife.
Yes.
And that is pretty much the episode.
Yeah, but the whole thing was it was for someone's funeral, wasn't it? They
Well,
were
it
going
begins
to-
with a funeral, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the trigger. That's where all the characters meet.
Mm.
But yeah, that's why I thought it was quite dark because, there are the 2 old people that are, one of them's very negative, one of them's very positive.
Yeah.
Which is their yin yang kind of
Yeah.
thing. She is like an excellent sort of nihilistic kind of lady.
Yeah.
She's like, nothing matters. We're just here to enjoy ourselves.
Instead of, like St. Paul, looking up and seeing the blinding light of faith, I have looked up and seen the outer darkness, the empty chasms of the soul, the snakes writhing in the bowels of hell. But how do you survive without faith?
Very well, thank you.
She survives by venom, revenge, and general loathing of everybody.
Yeah.
So nothing matters. We're just here to enjoy ourselves.
Oh yeah, she's
Which
drinking vodka and a cup of tea.
I can get on board with that. And he's more like spiritual. He sort of believes that he needs to make a mark on the universe.
Yeah.
But everyone around them seems miserable and a little bit insane.
Well, that one old man was trying to get in the pants of a new lady who was there.
Yeah, there's an old pervert there. When he calls one of them a right goer. Dirty old git.
He calls one of the ladies a right goer.
Yeah. So
He'll get a leg over anything else.
yeah, it's genuinely.
20 years ago, I'd have been put in jail for the things I get up to around here.
Sorry?
The goers, the pushovers, the hotshot Zimmer girls. See that one over there? Good Time Gladys. Used to be a Cochrane girl. Get her leg over a house, she could.
He calls one of the ladies a right goer.
Yeah. So
He'll get a leg over anything else.
yeah, it's genuinely quite weird. It is almost like they are waiting for God, and yeah, in like
enjoy yourself when
in
you're
quite
old.
a spiritual way.
Yeah.
So that was good, but I think I probably had more fun watching Orkney Snork Nie.
I just think it was funny when I was growing up because obviously.
Even though I couldn't speak Afrikaans, the structure of it, even though like probably live studio audience wasn't a great choice because no one seems to be laughing. That's because South Africans don't have a sense of humour.
They do.
I don't think they do.
Just different. When we go on to Leon Schuster, that will be different.
What's onto what? Leon Schuster?
Yeah,
All
he's a
right.
comedian.
We'll watch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That will come in a later episode. Leon Schuster from South Africa. He'll be performing to an audience of people who don't laugh at anything. But like structurally, it was brilliant. The idea of the family there and like the grandpa having to live with them, and he's like
That's
the father.
brilliant.
That like, there's been a lot of British sitcoms with that exact setup.
Yeah.
And a lot of American ones too that have done very well.
Yeah.
So like, my family pretty much had that.
Yeah.
And that ran for like 10 years. With Robert Lindsay and Zoe Wanamaker. That was a good show. So, and yeah, everything seems to be in the right place for the episode. There's a bit too much of them sitting around talking.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah. I think that's a cultural thing, because you spend more time together as a family unit in South Africa, don't you, than British families do.
Yes.
So that was good. So I think Orkney Snork is the winner there. So you've both the things you brought to the table have been vastly superior. I wish we could have compared two movies, because I think I brought the most entertaining thing.
No.
It knocks my other two efforts out of the park.
I'm not gonna lie, babe. It was not the best film.
I brought Lambada to the table, the greatest.
Not the other one. What's the other one called?
Well, this is where the history of Lambada comes in. Canon Films, who were very successful in the 1980s and the late 70s, they produced films that made Chuck Norris and Charles Bronson.
I like Chuck Norris though.
Well, yeah, every Chuck Morris.
Chuck.
Every Chuck Norris movie was basically produced by Canon Films, and they made cheap action films basically.
Did they used to do his thing where he was like
Delta Force? They made all the Delta Force movies, yeah. And they were huge in Britain. They owned a whole chain of cinemas and everything.
Yeah.
And they made cheap action movies basically. But then towards the end of their life, when they were starting to really die, they started to reach for the stars, and they made Superman 4. He-Man, Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren.
Anyway, we're talking about Lambada.
So I'm getting to that. And as the studio's about to die, the two studio heads break off and form their own studios each. And the first one, Mikhailum Globus, I think his name was, he says, I'm going to make a film about Lambada dancing. Because he'd had success before. Canon really became successful due to a film about breakdancing that they'd made.
Yeah.
And they caught on to the breakdancing trend just in time. So they were planning to do this again with Lambada, which never really became a thing.
Yeah.
So then, his business partner that they'd split up with, he was like, right, I'm going to make my own Lambada movie. So they were in a race to the death to make the Lambada movie.
And everyone looked knackered in that film.
They filmed this one, Lambada, in 4 weeks. Its competitor, because they were behind, failed to film theirs in 3 weeks, which just made it even worse. But one of them had cleverly copyrighted the name Lambada, so the opposing film was...
The Lambada.
But we watched the Lambada, which is considered to be the better one. It actually made a profit at the box office of around $3 million.
That's quite good then.
Which
wasn't
is bloody good, considering it is quite a bad film.
It's not bad. It's got a good like story, hasn't it?
It's no Dirty Dancing.
It's no Dirty Dancing. No.
It's no Footloose.
No Footloose.
It's no...
What other dancing?
Pitch Perfect.
No, it is not.
No.
No.
Although it did make me laugh as much as Pitch Perfect, I would say. I was mainly laughing at it rather than with it.
Yeah, Picture Perfect, the third one, is my favourite.
But say you're a director here and you're asked to make a film about Lambada dancing.
Yeah.
Would you go, well, the ending will clearly be a competitive maths competition between an inner city high school and a stuck-up Beverly Hills high school?
No.
No, that's probably not. Like, probably should have been
maybe the only
some
way,
sort of dancing competition.
Because he was a maths teacher. That's the only way they could have make it work.
I think they'd written themselves into a corner because the
Yeah.
film begins with him. He's all like a stuffy maths teacher.
Yeah.
Then you see him. He comes back. He's in the club later in the.
Good. Glad you're so excited about it. Complimentary angles. Without both, you have nothing.
Yeah.
Then you see him. He comes back. He's in the club later in the evening. He rides in on his Harley.
Yeah.
Leaves the garage door open for his wife to close. Prick.
Rude.
Yeah.
Hey, Blade. Regulars nightly news.
Are they ready?
Prick.
Rude.
Yeah. And he's Blade.
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 And there's a little blade
Lump
earring.
with a little blade earring on, and he's a Lambada dancer by night. But also, while he's Lambada dancing, he's teaching these inner city kids maths.
Yeah.
So, and he teaches them difficult equations to which the answer is always 90 degrees.
90 degrees. I could be a maths teacher at that rate.
Well, as long as you always had equations the answer to which is 90 degrees.
What is it when you point a pole straight ahead and up? 90 degrees.
Yeah, he phrases it as a really complicated question to one of the kids, but he's basically saying, what angle is a telegraph pole at? I went, what's 90 degrees, isn't it? Because it's on the ground pointed upwards. And then the kid's like, he's working away on his equation. And he goes, 90 degrees.
90 degrees.
Oh, yeah. And basically, he kept asking these questions.
But what's the nicest bit is at the end, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, there's a subplot running.
And there's a right little slag
throughout.
in it, but we won't talk about that.
There's a right little slut.
But she realises her issue.
She's a high school student and she's in love with the teacher man.
Yes.
And she tries to fuck him pretty much for 3/4 of the movie.
Yeah.
Until she realises that he's not like this badass dancer called Blade.
No.
He's actually a teacher.
He is a teacher.
And he's teaching the young kids.
And he's got a wife and a kid.
She makes a nice speech, doesn't she? When she's
does.
trying to get him, he gets fired from his job because they find out about his dancing and things. And she's like, we're all really spoiled here in Beverly Hills.
We are.
And
Well, they are.
They are, yeah. So... yeah, she has a character arc, and so does Blade, and all the young kids like Rafael or whatever his name is, the young Spanish kid. First, he wants to like have sex with everyone and stab people,
and then he realizes,
and then he becomes like a brain box, and we see him at the end,
Yeah.
and he's doing what job?
I want to say accounting.
Yeah, no, isn't he a teacher? No, that's the kid with the star. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, he comes good. All the inner city kids come good.
Come good.
But the climax of the movie is obviously the teacher's been sacked because they found out about his dealing and dancing.
But the real saviour is the man who agrees to let him do the competition.
Yes.
Not Mr. Spinster.
Screw you, Singleton.
Like a little dig at him because he's single. Yeah.
He probably isn't, but...
No, but the superintendent, who's basically... his character is basically Superintendent Chalmers from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
But brought to life in glorious HD. He forces the inner city kids to battle in a maths competition.
He does.
The rich kids, including...
And if they win, he can have his job back.
If they win, Blade can have his job back at the posh school. And it comes down to Ralphio, Senorita Michaelo, or whatever his name was. Senor Michaelo.
Yeah.
The inner city Spanish kid who likes stabbing people.
Yeah.
It comes down to him. And he knows the answer to the question because
it's about when he
it's
taught
about
him.
pull. And Blade had taught him all about angles and pull and stuff like that.
And there was a bit of gambling in there. But...
A bit of gambling. And that's
That's it.
What's it?
The rectangular coordinate system.
And that's how he knew the answer. And to celebrate, the two schools come together at the end.
And they dance.
The rich kid and the poor kids, and they all dance Lambada dancing in the rain.
I thought Lambada would be more of like the
Right.
Macarena type stuff.
The
But
Macarena
it's
isn't
more
a
Dirty
dance.
Dancing meets Macarena. It's like...
The Macarena isn't like a dance like
No,
the
it's-
Lambada.
Yeah, but it's like
The
that's...
Macarena's 1 minute. Macarena.
Well, I mean, it's like, I thought it would be more Spanish.
Like flamenco dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't really. Like, you see them doing it at the start, and they're basically just simulating having sex with each
Yeah.
other. And then...
But that's Dirty
the dance,
Dancing.
the dancing kind of gets put to one side for quite a lot of the time.
Yeah.
The film is more about maths.
Yeah.
It should be called maths. Mathematics.
How to win at maths.
How to win at maths and win at life. That should have been Lambada. How to win at maths and win at life. That should have been the title of the film.
Yeah.
And instead of Lambada, the forbidden dance is called Lambada.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, that was Lambada.
It was alright.
I thought it was fantastic.
I thought it was alright.
I would watch Lambada
I would rather watch...
over and over again.
What would I rather watch? Probably.
Well, here's some other 1990s hit films. Okay.
Okay.
Biggest grossing, Ghost.
I'd rather watch Ghost.
You'd rather watch Ghost than Lambada.
I'm afraid so.
All right. Don't quote me
Ghost
on.
gets you there every time.
Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure Batman, starring, oh Christ, I've forgotten his name. Michael Keaton.
Oh,
First
yeah.
Michael Keaton Batman film. Pretty sure it came out this year. Would you rather watch that than Lambada?
Yeah.
Oh, it's brutal.
It wasn't great. They tried.
They tried and succeeded in making
A
the best film
Lambada
about
film.
mathematics that they could.
But it wasn't for my...
No?
No.
Would you recommend Lambada to a friend?
I would.
You
Just
would?
to see them watch it.
Would you recommend Lambada to a family member?
Right.
My dad would probably watch it.
Yeah? Do you think he'd enjoy
My
it?
mum would probably turn it off and say, shit.
What was your favourite bit of Lambada?
Oh, God. Probably where my favourite part of the film is where he pays three
Sat
people.
down. Your favourite part of the film was?
Where he rocks up her ex-boyfriend
Mhm.
and thinks he can just tell people what to do.
Keep your eye on the car. Just $5.
Touch this car. Oh my god.
A $5 note to watch his car.
Dean, his name was, yeah.
And
He looked like a very cheap George Michael. And like all American people playing teenagers in the 90s.
Look at this! Cindy! Cindy! What did I do?
The hair was too volumized for my liking.
As well, the slutty girl's friend, who was even sluttier, she was, I would say, in her 40s.
Nah.
She looked like it. Like, you could tell she was a bit of a slutty girl, because she looked like she'd been a crack whore for a short period of time.
She was alright. She was alright.
She had
But
crow's
anyway,
feet. She's supposed to be a teenager.
he pays these three people.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so...
And then he goes into the club
Mhm.
and he is all there like, oh, I'm all big stuff. And then the guy who owns the place tells him that he's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's not there, sorry. And then, oh, I'm going to tell him where she is. So he can be found out, the maths teacher.
Yeah, it's his Dean's fault. The
Yeah.
whole unra-
There was just a lot of pushing and shoving. No blood.
It's not Lord of the Rings, I'll give you that. The battle scenes perhaps could have had a little bit more work done on them. It reminded me a lot of the ending of the film we watched recently, the second Twilight movie. the fight at the end of
Where
that.
he dreamt it all.
The
No, where she showed him a vision.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was no vision showing, but the fighting and the choreography of the fighting looked exactly like the fight in Lambada. And yeah, I enjoyed that immensely.
Yeah.
I like, in any dancing movie, there should always be a lot of dancing, obviously.
Yeah.
Some sexy people.
Yeah.
And there should always be a fight, like there is in Dirty Dancing, briefly.
Yes.
Yeah. That's where, you know, where Swayze's like, come on, hit me, and his shirt's off, you know, as Swayze always should be when he's fighting. Yeah.
Great man he is.
Yeah. It's a shame we'll have to do a deep dive into Roadhouse another day.
Yeah.
Which is the greatest film ever made.
The Swayze films.
The greatest of all movies, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and
that bit. All of my friends would enjoy it because they like to enjoy life. And if you enjoy life, you'll enjoy Lambada.
Okay.
That is the message that
Lovely.
I think you would take from this review of Lambada.
And to work on my maths.
And yeah, just remember that you may think you're going to a dance class, but there might secretly be maths involved.
Yes.
And that things aren't always how they seem. A person can look like a Lambada dancing man called Blade, but secretly he might just be teaching inner city kids maths.
Yes.
Yes.
I did enjoy it.
He also
but not
teaches
as
them
much.
how to use early Apple Macintoshes.
Yes.
Which will come in handy.
Do you reckon that was an advert for in that film?
Well, 6 years after the Macintosh
Oh.
had been released.
No, then.
But they were, quite widely used for. I mean, even when I started school in
Yeah.
93, they were considered good. You know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were good computers still.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lambada has everything. It's got
Fighting.
Apple products, fighting, dancing, sexy women,
And
handsome men,
men.
and a good social message. And I, for
Go
one,
to school.
I feel like I've grown a lot since watching Lambada. I will take the lessons I've learned from it to my grave.
Lovely.
Thank you very much for listening. Hopefully we'll
Thank
be
you.
back with another issue. We're going to make magazines now. That's our next step.
Yeah.
We'll be back with another podcast at a later date.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Please share.
Please like and subscribe. Do what the YouTubers say and smash that like button. Smash it until it falls off. Then buy another computer, start another account, get on the YouTube video and smash that like button again. So it's double the amount of likes and subscribes. Yeah. That's how it's...
Why are you talking like a gangster?
I'm talking like a YouTuber.
Okay.
Enjoy. If you're not seeing this on YouTube, and you're on another app, then like and subscribe on that. But yeah, smash your like button until it breaks and buy another.